So, you want to be an it girl? Hi guys, and welcome back to Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl. And today we're going to be talking about something I do often, which is the game of compare and despair online with social media. Don't we all know it well? If you have never compared and despaired online, let me explain to you what that is. It is scrolling on Instagram and seeing that hot girl and being like, damn, wish I looked like that. That's like the most basic explanation. So at the end of my time in college, 2018 was probably the height of my compare and despair career with social media. I was struggling with disordered eating. I really wanted to look a certain way. I was super affected by people I knew or sort of knew, social media, seeing they were at the coolest parties with the coolest people. I felt, even though I was I felt kind of out. I was really obsessed with the idea of getting more followers, and I was honestly just jealous of people I saw online. So I was very stuck in the compare and despair scroll on Instagram, if you will. And I felt like asshole. And I was only making it worse by continually to scroll on the phone. In the past, I've talked about muting and unfollowing. I think we all understand the concept that if it makes you feel shitty, just don't watch it. But I want to talk about how I learned to stop the underlying control that compare despair had on my life. Hi, if you are new to Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl, my name is Marley Freygang and I host this podcast. And I am somebody who has been greatly affected by social media, TV, and I have dealt with a lot of online compare and despair, hence the titles Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl. So first, we have to find out why we're going to call her Brittany Johnson. Brittany Johnson's IG is getting to you. So that's the first step of discovering where your compare to despair comes from. Does he, she, or that photo, reel, whatnot, TikTok, have something you want? It could be looks, it could be money, it could be relationships, it could be friends, it could be a job. And what in that screen is something you want in your life? You have to start IDing it. So we'll use an example. A classic LA trope, if you will. I'm following Brittany Johnson on Instagram. It's a Thursday night, a work day. I would just like to say a work day. It's a Thursday night, and Brittany Johnson is out at Hyde Sunset in Los Angeles, and she's with Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber, and they're, drunk, talking into the phone, saying, Brittany Johnson's our new best friend. Okay, you're gonna have FOMO. Easy peasy. What in that story that you saw on Instagram is something you want? Okay, hypothetically, you want to be friends with Justin and Hailey Bieber, and you want to be in the coolest place in LA, whatever. I don't really know if it's the coolest place in LA, but you get the point. So you have to ID the situation and see that maybe there's something in that, content that has procured you to think, oh, I want that. So next, you kind of have to ask yourself, well, why does that matter to have that thing? Why does it matter? Why does it, we'll use the Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber example. Why does it matter to you to be seen at that thing? Is it you want to be associated with cool people? Is it that you want to be associated in the scene? Is it that these people are seen as wealthy and attractive? Do you want to be associated with that? Does it, validate a hole for you that you're popular and you're in? What is the compare coming from? So where's it coming from, and why does that matter to you? So if it's like the popular thing, like, is that something you were insecure about in your past, you're currently insecure about? Are you worried about, your financial health and whatnot? Are you concerned that your life is going by you and you haven't experienced enough of cool things in LA. Like, what thing is that identification pinging on that you don't have in your life? Which brings me to my next thing is like, when we observe those situations, I think we need to be asking a lot of questions. We need to be asking a lot of questions about the situation. We need to be asking a lot of questions about the platform and media that we're seeing it on. And you have to be asking yourself a lot of personal questions. And like, I don't want to make this too much about them because it's about you, but like, you have to be asking a lot of questions about potentially them as well and why you're seeing this on their social media or whatnot. So like, some of these questions could look like, does them having this Instagram story with Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber make them better than me? Does them having this story mean that their life is more perfect than mine? What could be a part of my life that is more fulfilled than Brittany Johnson's because she's posting this like Instagram? An easy one is you're getting a full night's sleep and she's not. That's where my head's at these days. What could they maybe be projecting that they're struggling with by posting this kind of content? I think it's just exploring with tons of questions. These are just some few ones that like pop into my head. And I don't want to deflect too much on the other person by being like, well, what are they struggling with? What are they dealing with? But like, I don't think it's realistic to ignore that check. But ask questions. Why is this bothering me? What happened in the past? Why is this content important for me to see? Why am I even looking at my phone at 1 a.m. in the morning? They're just questioning everything about the situation online and offline. Why are you looking at this? Is a big one. I think so often, like, you know, we're constantly grabbing our phone and we're just sitting on our couch. Like, okay, if you want to be out, why aren't you out? Maybe it's because you have a job and like that job's important to you, or maybe you're not out because you need to make money and that's a normal thing. And that's totally a valid reason to be at home. And like, maybe that's not the situation for Brittany Johnson. And like, asking questions about the circumstance on both sides. So you're going to idea it. You're going to figure out why it matters to you. You're going to ask all these questions and you just have to get lost in it. And then after we idea it, great. You've done all this self-reflection. Fabulous. Woohoo. We can all go home and have a cocktail. But you also have to think about like, what's stopping you from having that exact thing? I mean, running into Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber at Hyde is probably like a really rare experience and it's just going to take some luck. So like, let's scrap that now. But like, what is stopping you from having that thing you see online and you wish you have? Do you wish you had more free time? Okay, can you consider getting a new job or changing jobs that, you know, would create more free time? You might make less money. Is that something you're willing to trade for? Okay, maybe you want to, what's stopping you from going to cool parties? Honestly, not gonna fucking lie, money can buy anything these days, especially in partying. So if you really want something, you might just have to be willing to spend it. It's not fun. It's not great. It's not a great thing. And sure, there's still going to be things that are exclusive and whatnot. But like, when there's a will, there's a way. Okay, is it travel? Maybe you don't have enough free time to travel. Maybe you don't have enough money to travel. And like, you're, you know, comparing and despairing because you're seeing this influencer running around traveling. And it's like, okay, well, have you maybe like made your house really beautiful so that you have a sacred space, and like they're running around traveling and they don't even get to spend time in their home? Like, but what's stopping you from traveling? It is maybe, could we get a new credit card and like save up some points? Like, I think really when there's a will, there's a way to make things happen if you really want them. Are we just comparing and despairing? And we have to remember that this is a highlight reel. They're showing us the coolest, best, most edited, prettiest things. Social media is not new on some level, particularly Instagram. I will say TikTok has a little bit more of like, hey, my everyday, but even so, I think the people's content a lot of people respond to is like they're very active and they're doing things. So like if those are things you want to do, what's stopping you from doing it? And they might be really realistic reasons that are stopping you from doing it. Or it's just like, maybe I need to get out more. The range is large. So like my point is just like, is the thing you see in the photo or the reel or the TikTok, is there a way you can get it? And if you can get it, it could possibly require a massive life swap or change. And it's like, but do you really want to like swap those things? You know, you're a lot more powerful than you think. So like if you do really want something, on some level, I do believe you can go get it. Obviously, that's not true. Things get in the way, whatnot all the time. But like, is the swap really worth it? So you have to ask yourself that more often than not. For myself, I'm honestly just maybe too lazy or just like too expend in other directions to go get it. So like maybe I don't want to be at the club and early in the morning, even though that would look really cool for my life. And on some level, like I do compare and despair for that because like, damn, that must be cool to like party with all these crazy celebrities and have gone to all these celebrities' houses. And that's just something that never really like super panned out for me in my life. But like, I'm not really willing to give up my quality of life now and the things I'm working on, but maybe you are, and that's fine. Like there's definitely been other moments I've made crazy sacrifices of sleep to go make sure I'm doing all the things I want to be doing and making sure I'm partying with my friends. Like that's something I have definitely done. So it's just like, is that thing worth it? So if you want to make that swap, you want to go get that thing, it could be a massive life shift, a massive life shift. And you just have to go full blown and commit to it. And even so, it still could take time. It's going to take energy and you're just going to have to wait. And it could just take that. So in all of that, though, you're going to have to find peace with those choices, the choices you've made to get that thing you compared and despaired. If you're going full down that track of getting the thing that you saw online. And you might possibly have to repeat all of these mind things of thinking about, why do I want this? Why is this important to me? What happened to me in the past that this is maybe bringing up for me? Like there's just so many different elements of it when you're just staring at, you know, a gorgeous girl with her, you know, gorgeous life and, you know, everything's pristine, perfect. Like why does that bother you? Like, see, I wanted to say, why do you want that? And I just said bother because I think it's something that commercialized we've all kind of think like is the dream, but really is that what having it looks like? I don't know. So either way, you're gonna have to find peace with yourself while you make the choice to go get the thing, or you sit on the other side of the phone and like, damn, that's something I wish I had, but like my life around me is pretty good. And it's like kind of how you can lightly put a cap on it. You can know you can go get it, or you can be like, okay, I see this. I wish I had that too, but my life is pretty good how it is. Case closed. And I have to ask myself this too, is like, is compare and despairing really going to solve any problems for you? No. Is by you getting the thing you compared and despaired about going to solve any problems for you? No. I'll use myself as an example. A big thing I want in life is to be a big time actor and podcaster with this amazing social media presence, whatnot. Great. So let's talk about this. I feel insecure that maybe I'm not sparkly enough or I'm not it. And what I have discovered is that even if those things happen, I blow up to be the biggest actor and podcaster out there, whatnot. The issue I feel about not feeling sparkly enough and insecure about is still gonna be there. And with online hate, it's probably gonna be worse. Like if we're being completely honest, those things then are just gonna become so blown up. So the problem, the insecurity, the thing is only going to be multiplied. But I think that being Instagram famous or whatnot would solve that. Like, have you read comments on TikTok recently? Yikes. So I've really had to learn to pull myself out of this like headspace. And, you know, not to say that I did it all on my own. There's a lot of therapy and self-help, just even working out and like zoning out to this space and just learning to be open about these things bother you online. That has honestly helped me. So if you are stuck in like the compare and despair TikTok scroll of the day that you've been sucked into 2 hours, here are some things to think about. Why does this matter to you? Ask questions on all sides of the content you are consuming. Ask yourself, what is stopping me from having it? Think about, is having that thing really worth it? And finally, like, shouldn't I put finding my own peace first? I think most importantly. Guys, as always, thank you so much for listening. You can find us on YouTube. Make sure to rate and subscribe to the podcast. You know, give us a review. And shoot me any DMs if you'd like to discuss any of this stuff. I love talking about social media compare and despair because I can definitely vent about it. So guys, as always, we'll see you next Tuesday.